Yo, there you are. Welcome back. I'm reaching forward here. Oh my gosh, look at the lights there. We're getting back on track here with our flagship project. Watch this. Let's see if you can notice a difference when I click this button. Give it a second. Oh, it changed a little bit there, didn't it? Now let's do the same thing with the audio. See if you can notice a change here. I'll keep talking, and there should be a noted change right about now. You should hear something a little better. So that's using my AI tools, your OBS software, and your NVIDIA broadcast stuff. If you don't have that going, you should be getting that going. I'm going to check over here, and let's see if I can get the sleep out of my eyes. It'd be nice. Let's go over and
there you are. Welcome back.
Okay, that looks like we are. Looks like we're definitely streaming. So, good. All right, let's also make sure this is all working here. See, someone who is serious about what they're doing here would actually have made this all ready before we even started, I would imagine. And get an infinite regression of get going fast here. All right, so let's do this. All right, well, I hope you guys had a good weekend and that you're ready to pop up back on this project. Hey, look at that. There we go. Let's get that up here. All righty, so, all right, get going fast. Yo, let's get on over to here. All right, so we've got we're going to go through our review as usual. I'm going to get this out of here. I'm distracting myself with images of myself. But we're going to do our basic weekly review. We're going to look at what we did last week, and then we're going to go ahead and get going with the project for this week. So we just see 9-layer Knives just logged in. Yo, what's up? He's been a faithful member over on the Discord lately, so it's good to have him around. Well, reminder, you guys are more than welcome to come and be part of our community on the Discord. Come over there and just share what you're working on. You're not going to always get exact, like, as soon as you post a comment and stuff. And sometimes it gets a little dead, but she picks up. But the point is hang out there and help make it a good community. And we have good conversations. We get good stuff going on there because it's the best place to be on the internet. Okay, I don't know if that's true, but it ain't so bad. Also, reminder, dude, check us out over on the Reddits. Okay, we're kind of waiting for the people to pop in, so I'm just kind of talking up some stuff while we're waiting here. But over on the Reddits, you can get to our Get Going Fast page. This is a good spot to come join and be part of. It hasn't been extremely active. We're kind of still building it, but honestly, all you got to do is come in and start building, and you will soon be one of the head members. Maybe we'll even make you a moderator. Yo, so this is your step for fame here. You can also check us out on Instagram. Haven't been as active lately, but you're welcome to come over and be part of what's going on here. Follow us over there, as well as over on the X. Yo, go find us on X. And we got some TikTok stuff going on too, but well, that's a cool photo. This would be a cool photo to throw into frame pack and see if we could make it move. Maybe I'm going to grab that and put that on my desktop. I'll play with that later. So one thing I like to do sometimes is go in and these people will post stuff and I'll take it and I'll throw it into an image to video thing and then I'll post it back to them. I don't know if they appreciate it or not, but it amuses me. So, all right. So, okay, we'll wait here just a little bit longer, then we're going to pop into our weekly review. Really last week wasn't a whole lot going on. I had been traveling for Easter. I think you heard I got stranded. Stranded with 3 dogs. I wasn't stuck in Lodi again, but I was stuck in Oregon. But made it back. So we did a few things last week. Let's take a look. One is this right click to transcribe, add Whisper to your context menu. So Whisper it's one of these cool apps that when I first started doing this over almost a year and a half ago now, Whisper was one of the first apps that I was playing with. And we have come so far, guys. We have come so incredibly far in 1 year. the big stuff back then was this Whisper. It was my God, I can just throw audio in there and it transcribes it in seconds. And now that's just like second nature to us. Doing the video stuff we do now, that was unheard of. It was unheard of a year ago. I mean, we would use an animated diff, and it was like the person would move, but the backgrounds were constantly changing. Let me see if I can find a. I want to see if I can find some of our animated diff examples for you to show you what kind of stuff we were looking at there. Animated diff. We're gonna log this into here. And let's see here. I want to find some of these videos. Here we go. Okay, let's pop over here. Here's some of this animated diff stuff that we were making. This was like a year ago. This is this is just last October. So this is actually still pretty decent. But notice the background's changing. This was the epitome of video generating 6 months ago, yo. That's still actually pretty good. Check it out. We were doing this sexy Wonder Woman. So that actually was not bad. But you can still see things flickering. So this was actually getting better. I want to find this other one over here. Oh, here we got sexy super. Evidently went through a sexy superhero phase here. You can see that's actually not bad. This is actually better than I was remembering it. Oh, this one I think you can see, yeah, the background's changing. Yeah, see like that kind of stuff there. So this was all what we were doing. This was October. So you can imagine when I was doing this back in, I started back, I guess, I started like a couple, in, I guess, 2023 with the chat bots. But by 2024, this is what we were doing early in the year. October 20. I feel like there's a lot older stuff that we could look at too. Anyway, the point is we have come a long way, baby. And Whisper was where it was at. And that was just like some of the very first projects I worked on was just learning how to create virtual environments. This is where I was cutting my teeth on the CUDA toolkits, learning about Torch, just over and over, literally having 20-hour days. Sometimes I would not go to bed for over 24 hours because we're just sitting there working on this stuff because it's so awesome, right? I mean, this is such a great hobby. And that's really how you learn stuff. But anyways, okay, all that aside, that was a digress. The main point of this is that what we've done is we've taken Whisper and essentially just created a registry edition. So if you right click on a audio file, this little registry script here will actually transcribe it for you and put it in a notepad. So as before we were like having to type a lot of Python codes and this and that. It's actually become so simple that if you run this command, you just have like an MP3. It could even be a song with singing in it. Whatever, you right click on it and it will and you can transcribe it. So this is kind of cool. Here, that's kind of what little project I worked on last week. You can actually see it up here. So that's something you can play with. Always be careful, running registry scripts. Obviously, I'm assuming you trust me enough to run this. But what you can always do is take this stuff and throw it into Chat GPT. And what you do is you just say, hey, chat. You go, I call it chats. Yo, chats. Is this a safe script? So that's actually not a bad thing to do. All right, looks like 9-Layer Nige has donated to us. Thank you, 9. Yo, what's up? I said I was going to woot woot on TV. So here we go. Woot woot. Oh, yeah. What's up, 9? Hey, oh. Hoot, hoot, hoot. Thank you very much for your gift. That is such a blessing. Keeps us going during the day. He says, thanks for your vids over the last 6 months to get me into this crazy hobby. And it is an awesome hobby. AI is an excellent hobby. I love doing this. And I'm going to just say, it's funny as we get kind of honed into different things, you find yourself getting into a niche. And like everything has really kind of gone into this comfy UI direction. And the apps are getting so big and so good that we're finding that a lot of these smaller apps are falling out. And a lot of what I did last year was just install any and everything. And I'm finding that the any and everything projects are starting to get swallowed up by the bigger and better projects. But that really is my heart, is just to play with it because it's a hobby. I want to install all of it. I want to play with all of it. I want to see how all it is, and I want you guys to be able to do it too. And so, if you have projects you want to look at, send them to me. We'll go ahead. We'll go through them. We'll make videos for them. I'll make you installers that you can get over on the Get Going Fast page, so that you can get going fast. And honestly, just look at the code and learn from what it's doing. You learn through repetition. But anyway, thank you so much, 9-Layer Nige. Let's see really quickly. It says Point Aveugle says, I made my own graphical user interface for Whisper, so you can drag and drop any file onto the program or use shortcut to start recording your mic. Has Kokoro for it too, called Anti-Stentorian. Okay, well, that sounds awesome. You share us the workflow and we'll take a look at it. If it's an open source thing that we can look at, I'll host it over on Get Going Fast, and I will give you credit for that as well. We'll say, hey, look what this fella made, yo. So Point, if you had a good app, come send me the links, send me your website stuff, and I will funnel everyone over to giving you the fame and the glory that you deserve. Okay, so good job. So anyway, all right, well, let's move on. So we have right-click to transcribe. Just right-click on it, transcribe. So that's pretty cool. And it's not perfect, but, you know, it works pretty good. Okay, last week we also looked at easy batch prompting. So this was a simple thing that we had hit on this during the week. I believe this was during the live Q&A. Every Wednesday we have a live Q&A. And we just simply said, well, how do we get a list of prompts and put it in there so that we can just go to bed? Especially this is really good when you're doing things with like Hunyuan or WAN 2.1, things that take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes to make. I don't want to make like 30 of them. I'm not going to sit there forever, so I could put this on and go to sleep. So this was really easy. All we really did with this was we went to our Comfy UI installations, and I think all we did was we just went to add nodes, and I believe it was under, what was it under? It was under one of these things. We might have to go back and look at it. It was not under bootleg. Bootleg I was using, it was under this RG3, I think. And at any rate, you can load, it was one of these things. Anyway, we just added a simple node that reads a file, and then it clips straight into the prompts. So that was really easy solution, but one of those things that, again, if you don't know how to do it, you're sitting there banging your head against it. So that was kind of fun project. Okay, let's move on. Okay, Meta takes another blow in federal copyright court. This is an interesting article we looked at. Under U.S. copyright law, fair use doctrine that permits the use of copyrighted material without explicit permission of the copyright holder. Okay. Examples of fair use include usage for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and research. So in other words, like if I'm going to do a review of your movie, I have to be able to show little bits of your movie. Now, I'm not giving the movie, but I'm using a fair usage of it so that I can give people the ideas. That's the idea of fair use. It's like on YouTube, you can show little clips of other people's stuff without getting a copyright thing. So Meta, which is Facebook, has been under attack because they trained, and all these models have been under attack for training their models on everything. I mean, they downloaded torrents. They did. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, it's like you'd have done it. I'd have done it. I mean, this is hacker 101. I mean, this is computer nerd. Just like get the information and train on it. And so they're getting sued. I'm going to make my point here. I have an opinion about all this here in a second, but the bottom line is, they're saying, hey, listen, it's fair use, okay? Meta has argued that they use these copyrighted materials in order to make transformative new content. Okay, so in other words, they're saying, yeah, listen, we're taking all these Picassos or whatever, like Joe Smith stuff, and we're breaking it down and using it, but it's so that we can create new things, that we're not creating his exact thing. And here with the judge, and makes a good point, judge says, this seems like a highly unusual case in the sense that though the copying is for a highly transformative purpose, so he admits it, he says, the copying has the high likelihood of leading to the flooding of the markets for the copyrighted works. So in other words, you're right. Like you could break down all the Picassos and you say, hey, it's just um, transformative, but you could make stuff that's so like it and flood the market with it that that person can't sell it. I think this came through an egregious. She's actually a pretty terrible person, named Sarah Silverman, a comedian, and she. I think this came from her, and she's suing about her comedy. So the same thing is, you could take her comedy, you could break it down, and then you could create all these comedy skits that are in the style of Sarah Silverman. And so she's saying like, well, you're throwing us out of business. So that's not a bad argument, okay? Because it is true. Like if you could just sit there, and then especially like at some point you could just take, say, like my image, and then you start making stuff with me. Now that's extreme because you're getting into, personal images. But the point is, you could recreate something and call it highly transformative, but really it's actually replacing, okay? And then you can get into like how fine a line do you draw between when does it become actually infringement and when is it not? Okay, here's my take. This is what I think is going to happen with this. I think that I think that AI is too big for people to say you can't use our information. I just think it's impossible. It's too big. It's too transformative. It's too important. It's the future. So I think what's going to end up happening with all these cases about models getting trained and stuff, someone's going to land on a point of eminent domain. Okay, so if you don't know what eminent domain is, back in the day, like say in America when they were building the railroads was really important. It was going to connect all of the country. It was going to bring trade. We could not be as advanced as we are today. We could not grow. We would not have the health that we have. We would not, all the benefits, everything is tied into this ability to build the railroad, okay, and to transport and go back and forth. And people would say, well, no, I'm not going to sell you my land because, to build the railroad because I don't want to. And the government would say, okay, the idea of building this railroad is too important. You can't say no. So we're creating something called eminent domain, and we're going to force you to sell your property. So they give them a fair amount for it, but they couldn't not sell it. And I think that's what's going to happen with AI data. It's too important. There are global politics, there's space politics, there's everything. And at some point, they're just going to say, listen, you can't not give your information. It's just you're not going to pull these models down. Okay, maybe there will be big money payoffs, but they're going to call imminent domain on this. Is my take. Now, I do think that they'll build in a way of saying that any derivative models or things that are made will have to be reimbursed and paid for. So I think, like, say I have a series of books, right? And I'm Stephen King or whatever, and I've got all these hundreds of books that I've wrote. I won't be able to keep that information away, but anything that is derived from that, I think they will make a way that you'll get paid for that. Okay, money's king. Right, so people will get paid. They'll shut down. But my take is, data is just going to become public at some point, or at least for the government. The government will take what they want. Okay, now we're getting into. Okay, let's see what here. Point said. Did you see Meta's new app, Her, like voice chat for free, but no access to the internet and less intelligent than Chat GPTs? Her. Let's do a quick search for that really quick. Let's go Meta Her. Headsets. Point, if you have watch Her become Meta. Meta just launched an AI app to rival ChatGPT and Google. I doubt it that it will, but we'll. Point, if you've got a good link for us, send it over and we will take a look at that. I'm not seeing. Okay, I'll have to play around with this later and maybe we'll take a look at it. But anyway, getting back to our Get Going Fast stuff. Oh, he says, Her is a movie. Oh, it's a Her-like voice. Okay, so Meta created an app that uses the voice like from the show Her. Gotcha. Okay. That makes more sense. Thank you for clarifying that. We will play around with that. Here, introduce the new Meta AI app. Okay. Well, I'll play around with this. Maybe we can do a video on this. Thank you for pointing that out. But getting back to here. So here we're kind of getting back to the core of where we're going this week. We've got a video image here created with FramePack and HiDream. This is actually created by Fidalkokun. This is our Nordic Viking legend. So he is a really good guy to connect with the LoRa's. I've mentioned to you before, we're going to be releasing here within the next couple of weeks a new project for you that him and I are going to be spearheading together. And so anyways, this was created with HiDream, okay? And then it was FramePack was used to animate it. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, it's not perfect with the thing, but still, that's not bad. And notice how she lights up, too, when the flame comes out of the her flamethrower pistol. Anyway, that's good stuff. That's actually really good. So we're gonna kind of look at that, and then here was another HiDream image that Fidalkokun made, and this is cool. This makes me think of Resident Evil or something like this. Like, if you could make a series of images like this and animate it, guys, local AI, you could make your own video game. I mean, that is quality stuff. All right, so Point says FramePack got updated yesterday too. Should work much better with certain movements. I think it's called FramePack F1. Well, that is certainly worth looking at too. Let's take a quick look at that. Oh, there you go. Yep, Elias VL. Okay, so we'll have to download this later and look at it. It's a FramePack model, only predicts future frames. Try FramePack F1. Okay, so it'll just be a simple update. Looks like it's just an update and then changing the file. Okay, well, cool. Thanks for pointing that out. We're going to give you some hearts on that one, 100%. Yo. Okay, so we'll come back. That's definitely going to be on our list. My list is growing here. So this kind of gets us to the point of this week's flagship. So this flagship week, we're going back to HiDream. Now, when HiDream came out, it came out along with, remember it came out with Uno Flux? And it was like, okay, here's Uno Flux. And then, oh, here's HiDream. And then it just got wiped out by FramePack. FramePack came out and just totally just, it's like two good movies were coming out, and then a Lord of the Rings movie came out, and everyone was like, just totally wiped out the market there. So HiDream didn't get a great look at it. It was okay. I did some stuff with it. I had read as well that Kijai is not interested in it because you can't do control net with it. But here's the thing. Now that the FramePack excitement has kind of calmed down a bit, HiDream is popping back up, and you're starting to see people are talking about training it. And evidently that was always the big thing with HiDream, is how easy it is to train LoRa's off of it. Okay, so and then just the prompt generations that come from it and all that. So I don't know if you're on Reddit and not, but all of a sudden that's what everyone's talking about. So I've been playing. I played this weekend with trying to do some training and stuff, and the oh, that's pretty. Wow, look at that. Boy, that's gorgeous right there. Huh. So I've been playing with trying to train it, and it's not quite as easy as one would hope. However, it's getting there, and you definitely are going to need 24. I got 24 gigabytes of VRAM, and I'm having a difficult time getting it going. But this is the direction that we're going to be here within the next week. I would assume within a week we're going to have easy ways to train it. So for our weekly thing, what we're going to do is we're going back to look at HiDream. It is certainly worth. Wow, that was weird. It is certainly worth going back and taking a second look. Huh, this is a cool thing. So obviously this this is HiDream Dev on the left and HiDream Fast. So you can see there's quality issues, but they're essentially the same is what I think they're getting at here. So this is crisper and sharper, obviously. So this is going to be a trade between quality versus speed. That cracks me up. Yeah, that dev is sharp. That is really nice. So anyway, so we're going back to look at this week. Let's get back into HiDream. Let's reopen reopen this. Let's benchmark. Hey, if you guys got benchmarks, I'm trying to figure out ways that I can share your benchmarks and the stuff that you've discovered on here. Let me know how to do that. If you got ideas, and I'll be thinking things too. Or just get to me and I can post it here on the Get Going Fast page as well. So pretty much this is it. I want you guys to go in there. I want you to install HiDream, re-look at it, test your prompts, evaluate your output, explore your possibilities, look ahead. And what we're looking ahead towards is LoRa training, okay? You're going to have a flood of people training these things. And it would be very cool if we were able to get in there and start doing it ourselves as well. Okay, so let me really quickly say for what I'm going to be working on this week is a GGUF model version of it. Okay, so we did, I think last time we did this, we used a workflow. You can get it on the Get Going Fast page. That will download the dev and it will download the fast and all of that. So that is the quickest way to get into it. I'm going to be working as well here on trying to get this quantized versions working, okay? Because if we can get down to lower quants, then more people can use it, obviously. So I'm going to be using this workflow. To do this workflow, you just got to go to your docs.comfy.org here. Let me actually post this here in the chat. Okay, and you can actually get the workflow from here. And then over here, you're just going to have to switch this out. Notice it has your normal BF16 version here. And what you want to do is put in this GGUF loader. And you can just do that by right-clicking, going Add Node, and then we go down to here where it says Bootleg. And you can find a UNet loader here, okay? All the same stuff that is down here, and then you just got to reattach it. So I'm playing with getting this working. Again, like I said, we have the other workflow that still works as well. Let me see if I can. I'm not connected. You can see it says reconnecting. I'm not connected at the moment, but let's see if it'll still load it up. Hold on just a second. Oh yeah, so this was the one that we used just the other week. And this one, you just choose which one you want. And you don't want to go down to these. You want these NF4 ones. And it will actually just download it for you as well. So you can play around this way as well too. Okay, so that's our goal for the week. Let's get that going so that then we can move into Laura's. On Wednesday, we're going to have our live Q&A as usual. So you can bring any information that you found about that as well. If you have any projects you need to work on, we can try to figure that out. Okay, Point says, I traded Laura for it. Took like 4 hours from mediocre resemblance. Juan and Hun is much easier to train. So, cool, yeah. Evidently, HiDream is going to be easy to train. That is evidently the thing about it. It is going to become something easy to train. And that's part of the thing with a lot of this stuff is this stuff comes out and it's like, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? And you're like, well, I can't really try it because it's built for 36 gigabytes of VRAM or it's built for 48 gigabytes of VRAM. And we really have to wait for this stuff to funnel down. Now, the great thing, what's been so exciting about this open source journey has been that the businesses have committed to making stuff open source, which means that then these legends come out and they get the stuff to us in these quant formats that we can do the stuff so much sooner. But it still takes a while. Okay, and especially the big projects. I mean, shoot, man, like FramePack comes out, or Juan comes out, and Kijai gets that done in like 12 hours. Like you're just like, I think I'll just go to the bathroom, take a shower, and there's the quants. Hey, right. Some of this other stuff takes a little bit longer for it to move out, or they'll make something and it's not the perfect thing, but it's enough, it's enough that people aren't really working on it. So it just takes a while for these things to load. Nigel over here, 9-layer Nigel, is talking about using sky reels. That was one again that I was like, why bother? It's just too difficult. It's so big. It doesn't really, and we've got all these other stuff. But now it's finally. It took more than a couple weeks, but it's finally getting down to a place where we can actually use it. So now we'll take a look at it. So my thought here with what Point is saying about the difficulties of training high dreams, that I think within a week, I'm giving it in a week. In a week, we are going to be having very easy installations. 2 weeks at the most, because 2 weeks is forever, guys. Like in this AI stuff, by the time 2 weeks has gone by, it's like the software is, you're like, it's junk, let's throw it out. So I think within 1 week, I bet by the end of this week, by next Monday, definitely, we are having easy ways to it. But if I'm going to find a way, I'm looking for a way this week to go ahead and train stuff. And so I will be reporting on that. If I can get something made that's decent, then we will go ahead and use that. I would be interested, Point, into knowing what tool you used and what GPU you used. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and bring this live stream to an end here. We'll wait a few more minutes just in case anyone wants to say anything. 9-layer Nige, yo, thanks again for your gift. These hearts are for you. Yay. Woo. I'm going to give you some party emojis as well. Thank you for being so much part of our community, and I've appreciated seeing you on Discord. So I'm not always around. Sometimes people hit me up, and it takes me a while to get back to them. But I see you, and I'm there. I'm like the all-seeing eye. I'm like Alan Parsons' eye in the sky. Not really, but I do appreciate all of you. He's running this. Point's running his stuff on a 4090. Awesome. Yep, 49. Well, Point, you need to come on over to Discord if you're not already there and start sharing your stuff in the video generation channel, or getting over to the Reddit and again joining. Boy, that's such a pretty picture. Joining us over here on the Get Going Fast page so that you can share. If any of you guys come and start sharing a lot of good content, I'll make you a moderator, okay? And we'll get glorious and famous together. Okay. Counting up here, waiting to see if anything else happens. Dude, you could totally make a video game out of that. That looks so cool. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and end it there. God bless you guys. We will catch up later in the week. And like I said, come over, and appreciate your guidance and letting me know about stuff that's going on. We'll check out the Frame Pack F1 because obviously, that's good stuff. And we'll keep working on the High Dream and